Hi, welcome to the Middle East and North Africa Information Security Conference 2020. My name is Kutlay Tetik. I'm managing the pre-sales security team for Micro Focus in Middle East and Africa region. Today I want to talk about intelligent technologies in cybersecurity area, and I will also discuss how Micro Focus customers are utilizing these intelligent technologies and increasing their operational efficiency while decreasing the cost. I think it is important to understand the concept of being intelligent. The first question that we can ask to ourselves is, what kind of challenges are we facing in our daily tasks so that we are looking for support from these intelligent technologies? I made a list of such challenges that we commonly see in many organizations today. I'm calling it a perfect storm. And we can see fragmented security ecosystem in many companies. This means that the IT department, they don't have the overall control over the applications, who access these who access these applications, and they don't have control over the identities, and they don't have control over the data, who is accessing this information, which identity and which application is processing this information is behind the dust cloud for many of the IT organizations today. And one of the main reasons that is preventing us from having full control of our systems is the lack of resources, for sure. And it was never easy to find a skilled employee, a cybersecurity expert that can help you, that can support you in your cybersecurity activities, starting from the day he joins the company. And considering the COVID-19 situation, it is also not easy to say that you will be able to find the required financial resources to fill in the gaps in your cybersecurity infrastructure. And if you consider the huge volumes of data coming in and out, coming in and going out from your IT infrastructure, it is not easy to say that we have the full visibility on this kind of information. And some researchers shows us that the unknown threats coming from outside and inside, it's growing day by day, and it is getting more difficult to find. Actually, I prepared another short list that is showing the type of harms that these unknown threats can cause in our IT infrastructure. Some of these can be intellectual property theft, and I can also count the sabotage and destruction type of attacks that is generally happening against the critical infrastructure companies. And you may see some data being exfiltrated by following the snooping, looking, and doxing type of attacks, and you may see some fraud transactions around. But before starting to discuss on how the intelligence solutions can help us to identify, detect, protect, and respond against these attacks, I just want to take your attention to side effects, or maybe even we can call them main effects. Imagine that an unfortunate event happened and you lost your customer's private information. What do you think will happen if you go back to your customers and ask their opinions about this unfortunate event? Here is what they say, most probably. The 80% of consumers, they say they will run away from you. And 93% of them, they even say they will consider legal actions against you. And it's obvious that there is no chance you can do business with these people anymore. And if you look at the average total cost of a data breach, and this is the average one, and you will lose $3.92 million because your customers are not going to work with you anymore. You will lose the revenue, and you will lose the reputation, and you will lose your advantage against the competitors in the market. Unfortunately, the average number of days to identify and contain such breaches is too long, 279 days. I just want to show this comparison, right? So getting struck by lightning, you can see the number, 1 in 960,000, but the experiencing a data breach, it's 1 in 4 only. So you must do something. Another question can be, do we really know what we are up against? Yes, we may have an idea. You can see the common tactics used in breaches. And these are hacking, malware, casual error, social attacks, privileged misuse, and even physical actions. And we also have a few usual suspects: cyber criminals, nation-state actors, malicious insiders, negligent insiders, partners, and contractors for sure. And we can even understand the attack vectors, right? Because we know that there is a bad guy on the outside. There is a bad guy on the inside, and there can be foolish guys on the inside as well. In this case, I want to ask you a question that you may already have the answer. Do we really need magic to solve all these things? Or do we really need to use intelligent solutions in order to solve these complex issues? Yes, you know the answers, but I just want to show you how this can really be done. If we zoom our binoculars on the challenges of today's Security Operations Center, you will see that it's not much different than the rest of the enterprise challenges. 81% of SOC professionals, they are asking for more budget, and 45% of them believe they are understaffed. They don't have and 62% of them, they say the managers especially, they are concerned about their staff's experience. And 7 to 8 days in the average dwell time of organizations, come on. This should be telling us something. And at least it is obvious that we need new approaches. Traditional approaches are not taking us to anywhere. Actually, we suggest our customers using the power of artificial intelligence and machine learning technologies along with the robotic process automation tools. If you look at this arrow, you will see there is robotic process automation or continuing with orchestration and automation. There can be chatbots and analytics, machine learning, and AI tools, and you can combine these kind of techniques and tools with your traditional CM solution for sure. Let me explain each feather's function on this arrow briefly. Starting from robotic process automation, an RPA is a tool that performs repetitive tasks in the backend in an automated fashion. This means if you have allocated somebody in your team to execute such kind of tasks, then now it is possible that you put this burden on the software, not on the human. And orchestration and automation. Basically, this is a tool that is giving you a playbook, and if you identify a malware activity, for example, this playbook is telling you what to do step by step, right? Chatbots. If you have a chatbot, and you can consider a chatbot as one of your team members. How? Right? Assume that one of the company's employees, he's facing with a phishing attack, right? And he wants to notify the Security Operations Center. However, you have limited resources in the SOC organization, and it's not possible to check all these notifications coming from the employees. And in this case, the employee is communicating with the chatbot itself, and based on the classification of the information, which is done by the chatbot, and the notification is raised, and the L1 operator can see what's going on the screen in front of him. Good, right? And analytics and machine learning and AI solutions. Micro Focus has a UEBA solution which is called Intercept. I will get into deeper later a little bit more. But it's following a technique which is called unsupervised machine learning. And it allows you to understand the nominal behavior of the users, entities, and things in your inventory, let's say. And then it's going to tell you if something abnormal happens and these entities act out of their normal activities. If you can combine all these functionalities with traditional SIEM functions, such as real-time correlation, log management, and investigation, without a doubt, you will be able to increase the maturity level of your organization. It can also mean that you will increase the incident response capabilities of your team. This is also leading to a higher level security posture of your organization. ArcSight SIEM platform consists of all these AI and RPA-based tools and techniques, and it's giving you all these capabilities in one basket. Before proceeding to the deep dive analytics session, allow me to make an announcement. Maybe some of our customers have already heard the news, but I just want to announce again that there is a new kid on the block. It's a SOAR solution acquired by Micro Focus recently, the Atar Labs. The Atar Labs solution has automated repetitive activities, and it's going to provide a better user interface that can improve the efficiency of the analyst. And it is obviously going to add more dashboards, more reports, and we will have more metrics which is collected from the Security Operations Center processes. So this is an exciting for us and for Atar Labs team. And now we had a long relationship with Atar Labs for years, but now we extended this relationship and added them to our family. Now I need to talk a little bit more on deep dive analytics. So the question is, which tools for security analytics, right? We already have SIEMs and DLPs implemented in many organizations right now, and these are based on queries and correlation. And there are also some tools which are using pattern matching techniques. And there are also some other kind of tools which are used for anomaly detection, and they are following different kind of analytics. Let me explain which one is using what kind of techniques. If we divide this pyramid from a certain angle, you can see that SIEMs and DLPs are following rules and thresholds, and pattern matching and anomaly detection tools are following machine learning techniques. And if we also divide the machine learning techniques into two, you can see the pattern matching tools are following the supervised machine learning techniques, and the anomaly detection tools are following the unsupervised one. Which means the supervised machine learning is used for looking for specific things. It's looking for a pattern so that you have to define or you have to provide an input to such kind of tools so that they can do their tasks. And the unsupervised machine learning allows you to observe and look for the meaningful deviations because they measure the nominal activities and then they can detect if something abnormal is going on with you, comparing with yourself and for all the other and comparing with the with all the other entities in the entire organization. Interset is ArcSight's user and entity behavior analytics solutions, and it follows unsupervised machine learning techniques in order to identify and in order to detect the anomalies, the internal unknown threats in your systems. You can see some of the use cases on the left, like privilege escalation, account compromise, account misuse, lateral movement, internal recon, and data staging. Of course, as a first line of defense, you can you can apply the traditional security applications such as CM and DLP, and you can define rules and thresholds, and the CM and DLP is going to react to such rule violations. And you can also follow the pattern matching techniques. It's also supported by ArcSight CM solution, and you can try to target the specific things like malwares. And the ultimate target for applying all these techniques is the analysis and the looking for the knowns. So you have at least slight idea about the malware that can be active in the systems and trying to jump from one server to another. And of course, it's going to leave some fingerprints, and you are just trying to find these fingerprints to identify and detect the anomaly. However, these kind of use cases may not be caught by using the traditional security applications. This is where solutions like Interset, user and entity behavior analytics solutions, comes on the table. Interset is doing an anomaly detection, and it's following the unsupervised machine learning techniques, and it is based on the 450 plus data models, which means whenever you collect the information, whenever you pass all the log information, all the data to Interset, it's going to make an analysis and it's going to create some baselines, behaviors of each entity in the organization, and it's going to detect the abnormal activities, and based on the prior information it collected related to each entity. In summary, Interset is a purpose-built user and entity behavior analytics solution for the enterprise scale. It creates the unique normals and it detects the abnormals based on this unique normal comparison, and it assigns risk score to the entities. It is natively built on the big data environment. Now we are also integrating the Micro Focus business intelligence platform, the Vertica, which is including the one of the fastest database in the market right now, and including a lot of machine learning and artificial intelligence modules. Here is an example that can help me to explain how Interset works. This is a working hours example, and this graph is representing the activities of an employee in 24 hours. And what we measure is, if we take a sample from this graph from 10 a.m., we can see that he is or she is executing this activity almost every day, and it is almost certain that this activity is going to occur. If we take another sample from the same day, we will see that it's corresponding to the lunchtime, and it is the probability of having an activity like accessing a critical server is less than 1 and 2 of the time. So the probability is less than 50%. And if we take another sample after midnight, 2 a.m., it is very unusual that this employee is executing that kind of activity, accessing the critical servers or transferring data, huge amount of data from your premise to a cloud environment, right? But it's not the only parameter, or we are not only checking this kind of baselines and graphs. So we need to understand how unusual these activities are. We are comparing it to compare the activities of the entities with themselves, and we are comparing all these activities with their peers, and we compare the activities with the entire population, and this is how we are reaching out to a decision. And how much does it matter? So the significance of the behavior is also important. Is the individual logging in from another country, or is the individual accessing to a new server? And there is also the entity enrichment information, right? So if you have some information about this user and he has a bad performance review, so the activities conducted by this employee can be suspicious. And if you are having an honeypot file share, this means that there is something going on around, there is something harmful going on around, and our honeypot system caught this. And there are many other type of information that you can enrich this baseline data, and then you can come to a conclusion. So the probability weighting, and it's going to give you an alert, and it's also going to guide you regarding the severity of this alert. So it's not just about, if the employee starts sending the huge amount of data from the premise to the cloud at 10 a.m. Or 2 a.m. After midnight, but if this guy is doing it regularly, then it should not be an alert for him, right? Or maybe he is doing it once in a year, but you need to consider the other parameters. So you need to have a weight, and you need to assign a risk score to this entity. Actually, this is how Interset works basically. There are a lot of details, and there are some other techniques Interset is following. I will be happy to explain further if you can reach out to me after the session, and I can explain to you in details. When it comes to the applications, intelligent tools are going to help us to protect the applications for sure. However, those tools will not help us if we don't use them in an intelligent manner. If you look at the statistics, the most applications which are deployed on production environments, they have major security issues. 79% of these web applications, they have at least one critical or high severity issue, and it is similar in mobile applications, even worse. And 61% of these applications, they have critical or high vulnerabilities, and it's not even covered by OWASP Top 10. OWASP is an organization which is listing all the probable vulnerabilities that can be exploited by malicious users and malicious activities for sure. Actually, the solution may not be that far away. If you can embed the application security in the earlier stage of the software development lifecycle, you will be able to utilize the integration and automation capabilities of such tools, and you will gain more insight, you will have faster results, and you will have suggestions related to possible fixes. As an example to the benefits of integrating application security tools within DevSecOps environment, I need to talk about Fortify Software Security Center. SSC is a management platform. Basically, it collects the vulnerabilities from dynamic scanning tools and static scanning tools, WebInspec and SCA in our case, which is part of, they are part of our Fortify platform. And SSC displays this information, combines this information, merges in a single project so that the auditors can have the holistic view on the status of the vulnerabilities, existing vulnerabilities on the application from dynamic perspective and static perspective. It allows them to identify the false positives more accurately as well. And please note that there is also an integration between this management platform and CI/CD tools. This is so important. Why? Because on your CI/CD platform, it is possible to define a pipeline and integrate it with Fortify solutions so that you can scan the software and retrieve the vulnerability results before proceeding with the application deployment. On the other end, it is possible to automate the dynamic scanning process as well. WebInspec has a REST API interface. Automated messages can be sent to this interface, and it is possible to start scans on the applications wherever it resides, on your premise or in the cloud or in your test environment. I want to mention another intelligent technology, a service, Audit Assistant. Audit Assistant is a cloud-based service Micro Focus is offering to its Fortify customers. And it basically helps the auditors to identify the false positives among the vulnerability scan results. Imagine that there are tens or hundreds of applications, and as part of the automated processes, these applications are scanned regularly, and the results are coming in front of the auditors whenever this happens. And there is a significant amount of time these auditors are spending on these application scanning test results so that they can identify the false positives and they can eliminate the unnecessary delays in application deployment to the production environment. And this will allow to achieve the audit results in minutes. It will increase the efficiency of the auditors, and the auditors can prioritize the issues with a certain confidence level since they are getting help from an intelligent technology. Regarding identity security, we are following zero trust security model, and we believe in the importance of collecting identity related information from every kind of data sources so that we can use this information in our analytics platform. At Micro Focus, we believe the identity is in the middle of everything. It is very important to protect the whole life cycle of an identity. We have a comprehensive identity and access management solution which is called NetIQ. And our NetIQ customers, they protect the identity by following different kind of, by applying different kind of controls, as you can see on the screen. But on the other side, when you protect the identity, you are also starting to protect the other two important assets in your infrastructure, which are obviously applications and data. To understand the relation between the intelligence and governance, first we need to look at what data governance is. Because data governance and identity governance cannot be considered as a a separate activity or the project for the organizations. Data governance consists of awareness regarding the current state and the historical state of the information so that you can compare this information with each other and you can get some results and you can detect the anomalies. It is also important to understand the compliance level of the information so that you can make sure you are following the regulations and policies that is supposed to be followed in your organization. In order to do that, you also have to have a visibility on the data, and you need to monitor the activities. You need to monitor the movement of the information within your organization. This means you need to collect information related to identities. And identity intelligence or the identity intelligence means that you can have a continuous compliance process and you can detect the anomalies and remediate. And you can do peer group analysis, you can optimize the policies, and you can have a chance to improve your processes. These are all depending on the level of intelligence that you can collect related to the identities. And this is going to lead the organizations to have a broader visibility on the identity-related activities. And whenever you have this holistic view, the activities like audit response, forensics, risk management, and reporting, these are all going to be easier tasks to execute for the organization. Here is the sample data flow where the information is collected from the data sources and it's sent all the way to the identity intelligence platform where this information is analyzed and visualized. I have to admit that this diagram is exactly showing how ArcSight platform is retrieving the information from the data sources and passing it to the NetIQ Identity Intelligence platform and ArcSight ESM real-time correlation engine as well. ArcSight platform, the data collection framework, consists of two main components, Smart Connectors and Transformation Hub. Smart connectors are retrieving the information from the data sources. It filters, aggregates, and enriches the information, formats the information, and passes it to the Transformation Hub. Transformation Hub is a Kafka-based messaging bus, and it can distribute the information to multiple destinations, including ArcSight ESM, NetIQ Identity Intelligence platform, or any other big data or data warehouse platform. Lastly, I want to talk about how you can use the intelligent technologies in managing the data lifecycle and protecting the data. The lifecycle of the information starts with creation of the information or the capturing of the information at the internal sources or external sources. The first three things that you want to apply on this information is discovering it automatically where it is applicable, and classify this information again automatically based on the rules and based on the policies that you can define. And the policies are supposed to be applied on this information again automatically. And the next step will be following the additional security precautions such as encrypting, tokenizing, or masking the data, or you may want to apply access controls and prevent the unauthorized access to the critical information that you have discovered and classified. This is what we call as the management and governance of the data. But the journey doesn't end here. The next step is to use the output and share the information within the organization. And the internal resources, internal sources, and the external sources, they now have the capability to search, publish, distribute, analyze, and reuse the information, such as for the auditing purposes. At one point, the organization has to decide which information they need to retain and preserve based on the regulations they have to follow, and they can only do it if they discover and classify the data following these regulations previously. On the other hand, the company is going to discover a significant amount of data which is not valuable for the company, and these are redundant, obsolete, or trivial information that can be disposed and deleted based on the, again, following the auditing procedures and rules. To make sure data management and governance process runs smoothly, you will need another intelligent tool, an information analysis one. Information analysis tools can provide discovery and classification capabilities, and these tools generally retrieve the information from the media files as well, such as audio and video. They apply artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithms on these files. And in the end, what you want to achieve is using this information in running your business and provide more benefits to your customers. Actually, Micro Focus has a file analysis tool which is called Control Point. Control Point is the market leader, and it is supported by a technology which is called IDLE. IDLE is based on artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithms. It has over 500 pre-built AI functionalities, which is used in text analytics, speech analytics, visual analytics, and many more and different kind of analytics techniques. We are helping our customers in managing the identities by governing privileges, enforcing access controls, unifying identity stores, and helping them to manage the whole life cycle of the identity. We are also supporting our customers in securing their applications by embedding strong security and best practices into DevOps processes, and we are helping them to transform their DevOps lifecycle to DevSecOps lifecycle. And we also help our customers in protecting the data by discovering, classifying, encrypting, and providing access control wherever the data resides. In summary, Micro Focus has a comprehensive security risk and governance solution portfolio, and these solutions are intelligent solutions developed for solving complex issues. Thank you for listening to me today. It was my pleasure to present in Middle East and North Africa Information Security Conference 2020. I will be happy to answer your questions at this point. You may also see my contact information on the screen. Please do not hesitate to reach out to me. I will be happy to discuss how Micro Focus can help you and how we can solve the complex issues that you are dealing in your organization every day. Thank you.